Good morning. It's 5:54 a.m. It's almost noon here in Seattle, Washington. Coming from Mount Vernon, Washington, your friendly little city of niceness. They had an Oktoberfest last Saturday. I didn't get to go. Figures. But anyway, if I'm alive next year, I'm going. And I'm going to have some ale. I'm going to have some apple cider. I'm going to have some knockwurst. Anyway. On CNN today, the German government says Volkswagen illegally manipulated emissions on 2.8 million diesel vehicles in Germany. I like Volkswagen. How could they do this? I remember, I never owned one, but my friend did. I always wanted one, but my parents said, no, it's German made. Anyway. Bad, Germany, bad. Shame on you. Whoa. Cheating has been dumped with huge billboard sign. I love this one. It's like, really? Yeah. By the way, I'm leaving you. Cheating has been dumped with huge billboard sign. And it says, to my cheating husband Paul, you deserve each other. When you get home, I won't be there. Enjoy your drive to work. Elisa. I had to be surprised. It had to wreck some cars, especially Paul's. Anyway, there you go. Bonner will be leaving his position in Congress in October, I believe. Yeah. Has other things to do, and his conservative party who voted him in was putting heavy pressure on him, and he just basically couldn't take it anymore. So it'll be interesting to hear what Bonner has to say. I'm interested in hearing it, even though I don't like the guy. I'm still interested in knowing what happened. So, bon voyage, Bonner. Donald Trump versus the Pope. Yeah, well, he's not in the Pope's favor, let me tell you. It's really interesting. Some of the people running on the Republican ticket reminded Trump that the Spanish were here way before people like Trump were, and also reminded them, that Mexicans were here probably as long as the Indians. They are a little bit more indigenous to the area than the Spaniards were. I find it completely ridiculous to even have to say that to somebody that shouldn't be running for office anyway. But I don't blame Rubio, and I don't blame Sanchez. I applaud them. I stood up and screamed yay, actually. And it's just because I'm multicultural. When you're a mix of soup, you tend to have to take all sides, And on this one, when the little guy is getting picked on bad, how long are they supposed to put up with Donald Trump's mouth? I might put up with it for a second. But since he insists on saying they or them or whatever, never being able to say what he really feels like saying in a derogatory term, which is derogatory anyway, even his terms are derogatory. The man is a foul mess, the way he speaks about women, the way he speaks about Hispanics, the way he speaks about blacks, the way he speaks about everybody but the multi-billionaires, yeah. He, if they can do something for Trump, he can do something for you. That should be the key word there. So I hope Mr. Trump gets out of the race, and I hope his beautiful wife, who's just gorgeous, takes him for every dime he's got. She won't. The other two are taking some too, so they have to split it. Wait, yeah, 3 ways. Or is it 4 ways? I think it's 3. 3 ways now. So they can go to his next teeny bopper. So we can get you on that, Trump. I don't think you're a very honorable man. I think you're very dishonorable. You're just really a hellion. You only really have people that are going for you are people that are as bigoted as you. And I've noticed that. You know. I know many Republicans that are going towards other Republicans, and you mention you and they laugh. You may be ahead of everybody, but some of the things you say just shows how many bigots there are. It kind of worries me. No, it doesn't. It's typical human element. Anyway, I don't think you're worth even talking about. I shouldn't even talk about you anyway. The reason? Not worth it. Rubio and Sanchez, on the other hand, they've got something to say, and they said it. I'm glad. Meanwhile, back in the... Oh my gosh. Don't know where to go to the Hajj stampede or to Cosby's honorary degrees were pulled. So let's go to Cosby's honorary degrees being pulled. They, by the way, this is brought to you by CNN. I'm an iReporter, and I am reporting on their news. It's going through very brief little rundowns. 20 women have spoken out against Mr. Cosby. One of them, of course, is my favorite and unfavorite, who is a fraud. I don't know about the other women. I can't speak for the other women, but I can speak for one who basically damn near ruined my reputation. And she's just, she's a slut. More than 20 women have spoken out on various media outlets about allegations of sexual misconduct. Yeah, you know, they take 30 years to talk about this. Why? Is Bill getting like an annuity that actors get? Or do they ever really retire? You know, I think they do. Obviously, Bill has, what? Is he retired? I didn't think so. I was still seeing his shows. When he would come to the Pellet Fair and he would have a show there, I'd buy the ticket. So, yeah, it was really important to me. And did Mr. Cosby's wife know about any of the affairs that he had? Absolutely she did. She even says she did. I believe every word that that woman says. I also believe that some of these women could have gone to Mrs. Cosby long before now. They also could have gone to the press, but they didn't. They chose to come out after the fact. You know, and so, you know, my fave, of course, is, I just like this woman more than anybody, I think, on earth. And Janice Dickinson. She did a thing on my daughter without doing any research and proclaimed it to be true. I'll tell you how truthful it is. It's not. And so I can't imagine, actually the judge threw her case out. So she's fabricated more lies than any woman I know of. Actually, on Entertainment Tonight, Cosby's attorney said in a statement that Dickinson's allegation was a fabricated lie that contradicted what she wrote in her autobiography and what she said during 2002 New York Observer interview. So, if you're gonna lie, Miss Dickinson, be sure you stick with the lie. Or do like my daughter does and bounce around from tale to tale and make it worse as she goes along, and then she'll back up, you know? Yeah. Who did her damn face? Dickinson, you have no idea, but your plastic surgeons should be fucking sued. Oh, God. Anyway. You can bleep me on that. The now wife of Incredible Hulk, Carla Ferringo, told CNN that Cosby forcibly kissed her at his home in 1967. Carla Ferringo said she told her husband, whom she married in 1980, about the incident about 5 years ago, and he advised her to stay silent. Well, Carla, since it happened in 1967, and you married Ferringo in 1980, and you just told Ferringo about it 5 years ago, and he advised you to stay silent, there's a goddamn good reason. I never said stay silent about any of the assaults that happened to me. Actually, I went straight ahead and reported them. It's kind of funny when people don't do that, and I know why they don't do it on sexual assaults. It's because they don't want to. Thank you. It's because they don't want to be found to be, called names or anything like that. I know I went through that on YouTube. This one little gal who was saying a young guy at school raped her, and anyway, what the people did to her was crucify her on YouTube. And it was pretty horrible. Anyway, yes, I was on her side, and shall remain so. That's a whole other story, right? On a cold case, 36-year-old cold case was solved. It was a fascinating little cold case. Gacy investigation leads to the breakthrough in separate 36-year-old cold case. It's a separate one, and that, this kid's been missing forever, and they knew he was dead, obviously, and the story is by Greg Botelho from CNN. Many CNN writers on all the CNN stuff is from CNN today that I'm just briefly scanning over. So anyway, the Gacy probe, serial killer John Wayne Gacy was arrested in December of 1978. Something, huh? That's around the time the Andy Draft N16 was last seen in Chicago heading for California. Investigators probing Gacy's victims tied Draft to the 1979 homicide in San Francisco. So anyway, it's interesting, and DNA was able to do this. Anyway, so they found him in the little John Doe lab. His half-sister's DNA matched his, of course. And without DNA, we would not be able to get many, many things done anymore. So we have to be aware of that fact. And that there's a lot to say about DNA. So I think that today it's going to be raining, and it is raining in Seattle. And everybody's surprised, but we like it because we had a drought during the summer, as you know, and it was just pretty, well, yeah. Well, Russia dug up Nicholas's second in bid to identify Tsar's missing children, and so they dug up the last child. Told a serious war, baby born with a shrapnel wound in its head. War has forced half of Syrians from their home. They're going everywhere, as we know, all over the world. I think America finally obliged itself to take it. I think we're only taking in 10,000. All the countries are taking in far more than we are. What the hell is wrong with us? I mean, come on. So, there you go. We are now in 14 minutes and 31 seconds, 32 and 33 seconds coming along. Anyway, what am I doing this week? Well, I'm just not doing anything. I'm getting ready for another surgery. Don't know when. Gotta call it back. So I will talk to y'all soon. You have a wonderful day. And Democratic Debates start pretty soon, don't they? Hey, 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 do I hear a Democrat say yes? I haven't heard any of them yet, unless listening to Republicans. So that's been fun, too, by the way. Enjoyed it. Thank you. Bye.